Hello, and welcome to Historically Drinking Friday the 13th edition. If you like this combination of history and booze that I have going on here, please subscribe to my channel and then hit the notification bell and comment. I love comments. Today's episode is about the 13 Club, founded in 1880 by Captain William Fowler in New York City. We're making a hot toddy to go along with this episode. Why? Well, we'll see later. Let's get started on the hot toddy. So first, you should know that at the time that the 13 Club was being founded, the hot toddy would have been made without lemon juice, though it might have had a peel of lemon in it, which then would have made it a skin. It also is likely to have had sugar instead of lemon. Okay, so here's my glass from the wonderful Walnut Room in Chicago circa 2014. Oh. Okay, so I have hot water in here. I'm just going to empty this out. Okay, now, oh, I forgot my honey. Hold on, just one moment, okay? Whew, honey, sorry. Okay, so this honey that I have is actually the closest honey that I could find that is, it's the honey that I could find that is closest. Oh. It is the honey that I found that is produced closest in proximity to where I am right now. Oh, that was too hard. This is Topanga Canyon honey. Here we go. So having a honey that is produced locally to you can apparently help with seasonal allergies. So there we go. I'm putting 1 bar spoon of the honey in my heated cup. This is the equivalent of a half of a teaspoon. So there's that. Now I'm going to put 2 ounces of my whiskey in. I'm using Monkey Shoulder Scotch. Whew. The reason that I'm using this is because malt scotch, which is what this is produced in a pot still. And a pot still spirit is going to give this drink a lot more texture than it would have if you use a spirit that's produced in a column still. So here we go, 2 full ounces. So other things you can use besides malt scotch are some Irish whiskeys are produced in pot stills. A limited number of American whiskeys are produced in pot stills. You can get out of the whiskey family. There are a fair number of rums that are produced in pot stills. Geneva is produced in pot stills often, and cognac, of course. So all of those things wonderful in a hot toddy as well. Okay, next I'm going to add the water. So I have my tea kettle here full of, see that steam coming off? I just boiled this. Okay, I want the water to be super hot because, of course, the whiskey's room temperature. So it's going to cool it down. I want this drink to be nice and steamy and hot. That's why I heated up the glass as well. Okay, I'm going to stir this up. And then I'm going to add our lemon peel. I'm going to go ahead and just spritz some of the oils from this peel right over the top of the drink. And before I add any lemon juice, I'm going to give it a taste just like this, just the way it would have been made back in the early days of the 1300 Club. This is perfect. This is so good. Oh, it's beautifully warming. I love this. All right, now let's try adding some lemon juice. Okay, so I've got my lemon all ready to squeeze, and I'm not going to put very much lemon juice in. I'm actually only going to put 1/4 ounce in. There we go. That's 1/4 ounce. Ooh, perfect squeeze. Exactly 1/4 ounce. Look at that. Nothing left. There we go. I only squeezed the lemon part way. That's why there was only 1/4 ounce of lemon juice there. Okay. Now let's try it with the lemon juice. You know, I know that the modern way of making hot toddies always has lemon juice thrown in. I have to say it is better without. It does not need this acid. In the heat, the lemon is really elevated over the spirit. It really covers up a lot of the complexity of the spirit. So I like it best without it. But this is fine too. All right, let's get on to our history. So William Fowler had a lot of positive life experiences with the number 13, including having belonged to 13 social clubs. One of these social clubs was just him and one other friend drinking hot whiskey. What was hot whiskey? Hot whiskey was a hot toddy. So he had a whole club devoted to this drink, sans lemon juice. He started his 13 Club in response to superstition. Members would meet in room 13 of a building on the 13th day of the month, and they would seat the 13 people at a table where they would then dine and drink. If no members died within a year of the first meeting, then, Fowler said, the superstition around the number 13, and indeed ultimately the day Friday the 13th, would be proven to be unfounded. The fear of the number 13 was so prevalent in society at this point that it took him an entire year to find 13 people that were willing to do this, or 12 other people that were willing to do this with him. But he finally did. He finally had those 13 people. The menu that they were served and that the menus that they continued to be served through the history of the 13 Club would have 13 courses, all paired with drinks. I have a sample of one of those menus in the links below. It's interesting, the first pairing is with a Manhattan cocktail, which I thought was pretty cool. And then there's some really awesome wine pairings. All of these menus were decorated and designed in a manner that really reminds me of Edward Gorey paintings. So all like long, tall, lean figures, all dark, and many figures of death and things like black cats and umbrellas. It's really, really cool artwork and design. The guests would wear funereal clothes. They walked into the room underneath an unfolded ladder. They would carry open umbrellas or just open them inside the room. They broke mirrors. They spilled salt. They did everything that they could do that there was a superstition about. And then a year later, not a single member was dead. After this success, Chapters opened not just across the United States, but also in London and in Paris. And at its peak, the club boasted as many as 1,300 members, including 5 U.S. presidents. At first, the club was all men. It was a product of its time, but then they decided that they should encourage female participation. Why did they decide this? Because females were known to be the more superstitious sex. So from that point on, they started having dinners where females were invited. Now Fowler, he died peacefully in his sleep at the age of 70 years old. Guess what day he died on? I'm kidding. It wasn't the 13th. It was like the 6th of July or something like that. But he did die peacefully. It was cool. By the mid-1920s, the other members of the club had also passed away peacefully at ripe old ages. And so the club itself died a peaceful death. But after the 13 Club, other anti-superstition clubs were formed. And one of these clubs lasted as long as the year 2000. I couldn't find any that are around today, but if any of y'all want to start one, let me know because I would love to write the drink menu for it. All right. I accept tips on Venmo. You can find me at Sarah LM Mengoni, or I'm sorry, Sarah LM-Mengoni. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate your time. I would love it if you would comment below and let me know whether you prefer the hot toddy with or without the lemon juice and what spirit you use to make it. I would love to hear what you have to say. Also, again, please subscribe. And that's it. Happy Friday the 13th. Stay safe. Cheers.